Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl after being labeled a bust, things not working out with the Jets. He now gets to say he's achieved the greatest achievement in the NFL. There are plenty of guys that go on and win Super Bowls and they stagnate. They stay the same. They don't take that leap, and their career kind of just ends. Do you think that Sam Darnold is going to be a quarterback who finishes his career? It's hard to say better because he had a great season this year. He threw for 4,000 yards.
28 wins in the last 2 years.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Do you think he's a guy who is going to finish his career in that upper echelon that we talk about in the 2020s of like, man, you remember Sam Darnold? We'll be sitting at a bar in 20 years or our kids will ask, Dad, who was Sam Darnold? But man, he was good. He was good. He was an interesting story. He was good. Kind of like Steve Young, where Steve Young didn't work with the Bucs.
Yeah.
Ended up on the 49ers, eventually took over, and then he had a prolific finish to his career. Do you think that Darnold is going to build off of this or at least carry this momentum?
He's put himself in a really interesting place in quarterback lore right now because no matter what, if you're drafted that high and then you go to 3 different teams, that sticks in people's minds a lot, even though he went to the first 2 teams in the Jets and the Panthers who were utter garbage dog water, incapable of doing anything with anybody. Then he's cited talking about San Fran being so good for him, turns it on the next 2 years. Right now, I have no reason but to bet that he keeps on the pace that he's on right now. Like just the patterns of terrible team gets fixed up, 2 good teams, goes and plays out of his mind football with Minnesota and Seattle in 2 back-to-back years. I trust the pattern there. I don't see him regressing. Keep him with now it doesn't. You keep him with the top 5 receiver in the league. I think that helps him. I think keeping JSN there helped them. Having Justin Jefferson helped them. But I have no reason right now to think that he would stagnate. And if he does stagnate, then we're looking at a pretty good quarterback when it's all said and done. But when you say Sam Darnold, when you say it, do you think top 10 in the league? Do you
No.
You don't.
No.
Even though
No.
he should be. Even though we should be putting him in the same metric as like Dak Prescott. That would be realistic for me, but it's only been 2 years of Darnold dominance, and we've seen 6 years where Dak has looked stellar. So what do we put that on? Because Darnold's got a Super Bowl. Darnold's got 3 playoff wins before the Super Bowl. Like the resume is building out, but I think a lot more people will put Dak in the top 10 before they put Darnold in the top 10, which is a really weird spot to be.
Part of the problem with this is that Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP.
I know.
I think that everybody with a sensible, just
the gimmick. That's his nickname, by the way. The gimmick.
Anyone with any sense about themselves can recognize that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. Is he good enough to succeed in the confines of the offense when they have a good play caller?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That is partly why I have not a fear for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's going to succeed. I think that he's going to pass somebody like Jalen Hurts. I think that he could get back to the NFC Championship game at the very least before his career is done. I think he can get to a Super Bowl again. I think it's very possible because Mike Macdonald's a great coach and his supporting cast is great. JSN's also not A.J. Brown, and I don't think there's going to be any problems caused in the locker room. I think that JSN is a lot more locked in, and A.J. Brown has a lot more personal goals that get in the way of having a good relationship with Hurts. But the big thing is Kellen Moore leaves, takes the head coaching job with the Saints. Kellen Moore is over there in New Orleans. It's bleeding on to Tyler Shuck, and Tyler Shuck looks good, and it looks like there's a bright future for that offense.
Easy on the Shuck.
You have here with Clint Kubiak leaving and taking the Raiders job, and there's a path here for Mendoza to then get the same treatment as Tyler Shuck. And if they mess up this hire, we could be talking about this time next year, man, this was a disappointing season for Sam Darnold. I always feel like we overlook offensive coordinators, especially with guys
all the time
like Darnold that needed to be in the right situation. If you're Josh Allen, if you're Lamar Jackson, if you're Patrick Mahomes, if you're Joe Burrow, guys that can succeed regardless of their situation, it's a little bit different. But when you're Sam Darnold, who has needed perfect, just every single detail to be working in the right direction, I have some fear that this could stagnate.
I don't know. I saw him as more of a playmaker this year. I really did. I thought he stepped up when he needed to. And like when it mattered, when I was doubting him down the stretch, when I thought those the final 2 games of the season, when it was a replication situation, from the year prior, I didn't think he was going to show up. And I thought maybe if they won, it'd be a lot of Kenneth. There would be a lot of defense. And he would just kind of be dinking and dunking. I didn't see that. I saw him making plays. I saw him absolutely lighting teams up in the playoffs, and that mattered to me. It's just something that stuck with me. And I'm like, what he did to the Rams, what he did to them in the championship round was surgical, and that was a huge step up. What he did to the Patriots, whatever. What he did to the Rams mattered more to me because I thought the Rams were a better team, and he showed me another gear. And now all I'm obsessed with is his placement in my top 32. And if do we have him over Jared Goff? First of all, like, is he?
Yeah, because he won a Super Bowl and he's pretty equivalent to Jared Goff. He's also younger than Jared Goff. I would easily, very happily put him ahead of Jared Goff.
Would you put him over Jordan Love? It's so.
I think that Jordan Love has higher upside, and he is, having been the super developmental raw quarterback that he was,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's fully there yet. I think he is a couple of rings below where his actual potential is, and we've gotten glimpses of it. So I wouldn't put him over Jordan Love. I think that Darnold's at his ceiling. The biggest thing that comes here with Darnold, which that's not like a hot take, he just won a Super Bowl and he had a really solid season. He had some bad stretches where he was turning the ball over and what wasn't perfectly clean. I think his ceiling is this being the elevator of an offense with a lot of really good pieces, but not always the driving force because he's got a good run game and he's got an elite receiver to throw to. The biggest part that comes down to all this is Jackson Smith-Njigba being with him his entire career.
Yep.
And who they hire as the next OC. I think Jared Goff is dependent on having the right OC, as we saw this past year. I don't think that Jordan Love is dependent on having the right OC.
Okay, last one I'll give you. Tua.